Folks, what you're looking at right here is the most beautiful beach that Romania has to offer. You may have heard of Mamaia, you may have heard of some other beaches that are in Romania today, but this one is the best one. It is called Berbera, and it is our treaty port here in Isaac in the Horn of Africa that we took in the last video. We have become a minor, but nonetheless a colonial power, and it is now on us to actually push our power even further. I want to tell you a couple of things before we jump in, because I think it is important to understand the general setup of international powers. The first thing that I want to make you aware of is the fact that China is now back in a pretty precarious situation, because I reassigned the Fragile Unity journal entry and also ticked progress bar as much as it had been progressed. I had to do this because basically when a rebellion is successful in any country in Victoria 3, that rebellion forgets anything its country was about. So for example, Fragile Unity just disappears. For example, the sick man just disappears as well from the Ottomans, or the Honorable Restoration disappears from Japan, the slave debate disappears from the United States, and so on and so forth. What that means is that now they have Fragile Unity again, now they can splinter, and now they are at a risk, because we might swoop in after they splintered. The other thing that I want to point out is basically just the European situation. We are just a minor country. Romania is in a weak position. We have a fleet of exactly 20 warships, and while they are ironclad, they cannot compete with any of the other Western European powers. So it is very important, I think, that we understand how people think about us and why they do. The only real enemy that we currently have, based on the attitude, is Austria, and this is very natural because, well, they want us to be quiet and be their subject, and we want them to give our land back. That is fair enough. We are also in a position where Russia wants to protect us, and Germany loves us. I'm going to work on this. I'm going to definitely push this further if I can. Whenever we find something where we can aid Germany, we will do it. I think the alliance of the future is Germany, not Russia, but right now we are obviously relying on Russia thanks to our defensive pact. And speaking of Germany, Germany absolutely loves Russia. They have an alliance with them, and they absolutely loathe France. This is a big war brewing right here, especially because France is fairly isolated, because Britain kind of prefers Germany over France. Yep, there you go. If you look at this right here, they hate France, and Britain is allied with the US, meaning there is no ally left over for France. I think this will change. If at any point Germany actually takes Alsace-Lorraine, then maybe Britain will say, you know what, Germany is a threat to the order here, but for the moment France is isolated and we do not want to touch them. Now the last area is our direct neighborhood. Obviously this matters a lot. Serbia can definitely become a friend of ours, but Serbia doesn't seem to dislike the Ottomans, which is an issue. I mean, not that we dislike the Ottomans or anything. If we take a look at this, you can see that they are conciliatory, but Serbia, you know, if we wanted them as a vassal, as a dominion, or even just as a protectorate, it would be good if we could push into, for example, southern Serbia, but that doesn't seem very likely. Greece, on the other hand, yep, same thing basically, right? So this is an issue. We need to get these two to really agitate for their freedom and for the liberty of their people, otherwise they won't be good allies against the Ottomans. Now that is everything related to foreign politics. We can't really influence what the big powers do, we just need to pray that Austria remains isolated, which is why I'm kind of worried that France is currently as isolated as it is, because this seems like the natural next step, right? An alliance between these two isolated powers. Let's hope that it doesn't happen, because then we can forget about our territory here. But with that aside, there is a huge domestic agenda that we have right now. We need sulfur. We might get that from one colony or another, but that doesn't really matter. What we really want to do is the agenda of the intelligentsia and the industrialists. They are national liberals. They want to strengthen the nation, and they want to liberalize the laws that share power. And that means breaking the back of the landowners. Now in our scenario here, this means that we want to work on this law. Tenant farming needs to go. I want to pass small holding and then maybe even liberalize it via mutual funds and make these farms something that is good for farmers and for capitalists, but indeed not for the old aristocracy. This is the big goal, and that is what I definitely want to achieve. The rest, you know, we have to see how it goes. Right now we are a somewhat agrarian, somewhat industrialized nation. We're somewhere in between, and I definitely need to work on this so that we can start competing with, at the very least, the major powers like Spain, Portugal, and so on. I don't think we're going to catch up to the great powers here. So, for starters, I think it is a good idea to invest in universities just so that we can go even further when it comes to our research speed, and I think we're going to build these mostly in Moldavia. This is the intelligentsia center here, I think, of the country, and then some government administrations down here in Wallachia. I'm going to build this up just because I want to go further and further on the institutions. We obviously need to pass a different healthcare law. We obviously need maybe to work on our education as well, and then sooner rather than later, colonial affairs will also come in. And oh man, it is really costing us. This diplomatic pact where we are paying war reparations to Austria is at the very least running out quite soon. I think it should be in Yeah, just next month, or in the coming months, right? I believe it is exactly as long as the truce, but I might be wrong here. Let's just kick it off by actually placing an interest here. I think we will immediately move against Brunei. I want a treaty port, I want them to be a dominion, because this is the sulfur that I care for. There it is, look at it. Yep, we're definitely trying to claim this. I think we're going to leave the Marina Kingdom alone, because if you look at this, you can see that, yeah, Great Britain wants to protect them, and that is a bad sign. If we take down the Marina Kingdom, Britain might turn against us. What I'm interested in, though, is the Ethiopian market. Is there anything interesting here for us? First of all, are you a free market? Oh yeah, free trade, look at that. Okay, so we can just import our stuff if we needed to. We could send coal. That means we can just push up our coal. Yeah, you know what? We're going to send them coals and I think engines right here. I think that is a great idea, actually. Jesus. Yeah, look at that. Finding good export markets is a big, big deal, and I think this is exactly what we need right here. And I'm going to look further for additional stuff. Maybe it will be enough for a trade deal, and then after that, hey, if we can add Ethiopia to our market, I would be ecstatic. Listen, don't say that I never try to be the good guy, okay? I'm going to send a protectorate offer right here to our friends in Brunei, and if they are to say no, then obviously we need to act, right? We're just restoring order, don't worry about it, okay? Well, in that case, yeah, let's make your dominion. Oh, and this is a huge one. Threshing machines will allow us to further industrialize, because it basically allows us to automate a whole bunch of our economy. Let me just take a look at this. This is coal and this is tools. Well, I like the idea of coal actually being more expensive, and this will free up so many workers. Let's take a look at Moldavia here, right? So, coal, quite expensive indeed. They are currently running at a loss, but I think we should be fine. Look at these. The peasants, the unemployed, very, very good. Okay, and now this is a bit of a hard choice. So we're trying to pass enacting migration controls, and I really want them to pass this, because currently nobody can move even between our provinces. This would at least allow Romanians to move inside of Romania and inside of our colonies. But this is really good. Man, plus 20 prestige permanently. Then again, it doesn't really do much for us, does it? You know what? I'm gonna just accept that we're gonna get the popular support here. Just pass this, okay? So the positive side is that nobody intervened because nobody wanted to protect Brunei, but the negative side is that Radu Kogalniciano, which is definitely not how I pronounce that, has to go in and actually fight them. It's honestly really nice. We have a tiny professional army, but it's just good enough to fight the natives. If we are in a proper conflict, then we really do have to pray that, you know, Russia, of course, with the pact, and then Germany, just because of sympathy, will actually help us. Oh, and would you look at that? Great Britain begins embargoing France. Yeah, this seems to be escalating further and further. I can only guess that it is largely driven by the colonies right here. They definitely hate each other, but I wish it was a bit more specific on why they hate each other. Currently the markets here don't look too odd. All of this is actually, yep, this looks quite decent. We got some isolation. Oh yeah, Russia is struggling. I mean, they're really just not capable of building up the infrastructure fast enough, fair enough. Alright, and there is the law. That is really excellent, as we're building up these coal mines as well to get things going. And now comes the most important part. As I said, this National Liberal Coalition wants nothing more than completely break the back of the landowners. And there is a bit of a risk here, right? There's a risk that we are looking at a situation where, well, the landowners might stay in power unless we take their actual existence purpose away. Which, I mean, well, we change the land ownership. I'm going to take in the rural folk right here. They don't really sympathize with our party, but they haven't joined the party yet because, well, no elections have occurred. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to do something risky. You know what? Let's do it. Screw it. They will be minus 20. This is going to be risky. Let's see how this goes. But the plan here is we will pass this. This will lead to a land redistribution. The landowners should be dead in the water after that, and we can have a fairly western-facing, modernized kingdom that can persist through time. And oh boy, they are so close to a revolution. Luckily, there's not really... Oh god. Can I suppress them? You know what? Can I stop bumping you up and instead suppress you? How much do I need? 200? Surely I can find that somewhere, right? This is 300, this is a 100. You give me so little money. You know what? I'm going to remove you. I'm going to start suppressing you. And then we're going to check out whether we can't tax something else. Yeah, there you go. This was a better deal. We're looking at a better situation now. Actually, maybe I just want some excess authority so that we pass this faster and have a lower risk of this. You know what? Yeah, I'll actually eat a bit of a loss here. How much are you bringing? Yeah, you know what? Let's get rid of this. Because now, with this excess authority... Wait, this didn't give me that much authority at all. It's just 100. Oh, no. What we're going to do is we're going to cancel clothes here as well. Which puts us in the negatives. Don't worry about it, okay? We're going to then tax porcelain. And all of a sudden we have more authority for faster enactment time for a shorter period where we are at risk of this. Would the National Liberal Forces take a civil war here? That is a good question. I don't know. It's only one region. It is only Wallachia that would actually rebel. Maybe we would take that. And you know what? I'm definitely going to take this trade deal. That is great. Oh, Jesus Christ. Russia is annexing Persia. They got Germany on their side because of the alliance, obviously. And Britain here, I mean, this is the great game. This is a huge loss for Britain if they were to lose this. Which, it looks very likely, right? How are you going to defend Persia unless... I mean, then again, you can easily defend here in these mountains. If... This could be a huge war. I don't really want to get involved in it, though. Alright, okay, what's happening? Frustrated with a lengthy legal process surrounding smallholding, Jakob Rakovita of the Rural Folk has approached us with an offer to expedite the process, utilizing his personal connections within the state apparatus. He is a bigoted diplomat reformer. What does reformer do? Is that anti-slavery? No, okay, right. Schools, cultural exclusion, and so on. I will do it. I mean, it will make them more radical, but I think it doesn't really make a difference anymore here. The suppression is really working wonders, but we need this passed, so yeah, let's speed it up. Alright, so the Persians ultimately did not have anybody side with them. Britain stayed out, which is honestly good news, because once Russia and Britain really get pitted against each other, that has the threat of really pulling us in there as well. How's this war going? They are attacking. That is ballsy. Alright, so here we have the Russians go. The Russians do have pretty bad troops, I would guess. Yeah, line infantry still. They're just awful. If the Germans get an attack in here, and let me just check whether they are even attacking at this front line. No. Oh. The Persians might be able to hold this. That would be amazing. I mean, just an overreach of Russia, a complete miscalculation. They started a war that they can't win. Don't know whether it's good or bad for us, though. Alright, we got a positive outcome right here. And we're looking at a pretty good speed, and we're still making money. Getting this excess authority is so damn good for the enactment time. Now, what I like to do is, every now and again, I like to just take a glance around to see who really likes us. Obviously, we now have protection, actually, by France and Russia. Oh, that is excellent. If we look at the areas here, we got the Marina Kingdom, we got Zanzibar as cooperative, and we got these, actually, also as desirable allies, huh? What I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to start bankrolling you. I would like to make you into protectorates, but without force, if possible. So I'm going to start bankrolling you. Both to increase the opinion, but also to hopefully take control of the entire Horn without any further diplomatic incidents. I don't know what to tell you, but the Persians are winning. Persians are holding. Looks like Germany's really just doing some lip service right here. Yeah, they got no attrition, they got nothing. Huh. You son of a gun, how dare you. I hate this. I'm gonna pay for it. Screw you, buddy. Alright, and we got new elections here. And I am so excited over the fact that Bogdan Sturza is quite literally sinking the landowners. Clearly, this reform is endorsed by basically everybody. I also like to see that the rural folk are, yet again, not running, because they were quite likely to run with the radicals, which I would hate. So this is actually a really good result. He wants to support the Conservative Party. Radu, I don't think so. He has been a good, general, what can you say, but I'll be honest with you, I absolutely do not think so. He becomes the leader of the landowners. He's a traditionalist. Nope, you know what, I don't think so. I'm gonna go over the head of the military here. Let's go. As the elections are running, we actually pass it. The landowners completely annihilated. Now, this does mean, I want to highlight two things here. A, this means that we now get this modifier right here, land distribution, redistribution. It is a 9 years decaying modifier, so it gets better as you get to the end of the 9 years, but we're going to eat that. It's completely fine. It will strengthen the rural folk. It will weaken the landowners, and that is the goal. The other thing that this means is that now that we have small holding, all of a sudden the rural folk love the idea of frontier expansion. So their ideology here changed because of, instead of other people taking over and getting to own the land, it is now them. This is a huge shift. First of all, what are we going to do here? First of all, I'm going to go ahead and pass colonial resettlement. 100%. Come on, we need colonies, we know this, they know this. The other thing that massively changes right here is this. Now we have small holding ownership, which means no more aristocrats on our subsistence farms, which also means that on our plantations, on our other farms, we have small holdings. There are some aristocrats here, but it's mostly farmers having ownership. This is a massive shift in the organization of our country, and the result you can even see right here in Germany. Germany somehow actually managed to get to small holding, and look at their rural folk. Incredible, oh god. Incredibly powerful, and apparently communist. That's not good. It's a very left-leaning government right here, huh? Well, let's see where that goes, Kaiser. Look at these votes. I mean, it's only fair, right? Because we do have wealth voting, and now all of a sudden the aristocrats are no longer wealthy. They are losing it. Ah, beautiful. 92% of the votes. That is insane. That is genuinely insane. Rulfork, how do you feel about this? You still want to go with the Radical Party? Tell me why, right? I want to understand your motivations right here. You do like the National Liberal Party. Okay, fair enough, yeah. What about this, though? Progressive lead ideology. So they want movements towards, for example, cultural exclusion, propertied women, compulsory primary school. Interesting, I see. I mean, it strengthens the nation, right? So it sort of makes sense. Oh, but in the end, it did not work out for the Persians. Russia has annexed them. And that is a warm water port right here. It's a very difficult sort of trek through this area right here to supply Russia with the warm water access here to the Indian Ocean. But man, yeah, that is a massive, massive shift in power right here in this area. Just look at our farmers now, by the way. So, fundamentally, they're still fairly low because they didn't run last election. Had they run, they would have received a bunch of votes from very, very wealthy people. Actually, let me verify this, right? Wealth voting works starting at, oh my god, you need to, need to have 25 wealth to even get to vote. Okay, so many of them aren't there yet, but I still want you to take in these farmers. Look at these rich fellas. They are now in control of the wheat farms, and all of a sudden, they are making bank. Now, ideally, I would like them to make even more bank, but hey, it is what it is. We can actually, and you know what? I'm gonna do this. We can actually basically kill everything going on with the aristocrats if we simply go into all of these plantations, right? And we switch it to publicly traded. This publicly traded gets rid of all the aristocrats and moves in capitalists. The farmers still remain there. I just really need you to appreciate the downfall of the landowners right here. Steadily, steadily going down. Here you can see how they pivoted down. We still got some supporters that actually are farmers but support the landowners. And that is largely based, by the way, on the fact that they are in slave states. So this is something where if you are in a slave state, that might still very much lead you to support the landowners, or at least pivot towards them. You can see this right here. Which means to really finally and finish off the landowners, we may have to get rid of slavery. Oh, and this is massive. So this is actually now a world-defining event. It's a super late Heavenly Kingdom, but it is a Heavenly King. The Heavenly King Pan Ni has spawned in, and he is doing his best to destroy the Republic of China, led by General Zhu Ni. So it is still very much a military dictatorship. The important part about this is that if the Heavenly Kingdom now defeats the main Chinese forces, the entirety of China will splinter. If the Heavenly Kingdom is defeated, China still has a chance. They have a shot at existing. But if the Heavenly Kingdom wins this, it's over for China. Ooh, and there goes Russia. They immediately grabbed Outer Manchuria here. China is really in a terrible predicament. I do think, though, yeah, they're gonna win. Okay, so China will exist for a while longer. One more civil war, one more, I don't know, you know, one of the big events like the Boxer Rebellion, and they will splinter, though. And yeah, this is without a doubt an incredibly bloody campaign, but it looks like Nanjing has fallen. The Heavenly Kingdom will have absolutely no shot at succeeding here, and will ultimately fall apart, meaning that China, the dictatorship under the general, can still hold itself in the realm of existence. I probably should have just stopped this law and restarted it at a later point, but honestly, we'll be fine. We'll be okay, surely. Alright. We have failed with colonial resettlement. I mean, this is a disaster, okay? I was stuck in that. Just forget about it. Don't worry about it. It's fine. What we're gonna do instead is, I think, we're gonna just take a step back and just ban slavery. Listen, it has to be done. The landowners are gonna be mad. Who cares? This is a relic of the past. It doesn't matter anymore. But you know what is also a relic of the past? Austria owning all this land. I think it is time that we take back what rightfully should be ours to begin with, which is in this case Northern Transylvania and Austria and Moldavia. I really can't take anymore because the rest is held by this communist revolution. Now, the communist revolution doesn't really worry me just yet, because sure, they may be very well led by an anarchist right here, but surely Austria can fight them off. But even if not, who cares? We're looking at a situation where we can finally reclaim some of our territory. Not all of it, but a decent chunk. And I'm not just gonna let this pass. We failed one war, we had to pay them reparations, and there will be no second war like that. Let's take Transylvania as the primary goal. We will get Russia on our side if we can. And maybe we can even look into taking Austria's, yeah, the Congo and Gabon here would be amazing. I mean, these are great colonies right there. And before I forget it, we did actually succeed right here. You can see Vasangali is a protectorate of ours, so is Majetin. The last one that still remains is Geledi, and that is largely because they are currently defending their borders, but The general Horn of Africa here is clearly ours, and Ethiopia has gotten a pretty decent amount of tie-ins with our market already, so long-term we're probably going to bankroll them as well and hope to add them at the very least to our market, even if it isn't actually making them a protectorate. And we are actually in a position where we might even have naval supremacy. So they're in a position where, you know, they have 40 ships left over, the rest is with the communist Austria, which already means that surely, as long as the rebellion is going, we have a good shot at fighting them. But secondarily, look at the ships that they do actually have. This is terrible for them. Yeah, they quite literally had to reduce it to man-o'-war. I think they did this just recently. Oh no, actually they did this. What the hell? This is the navy they have? Seriously. I think we have a pretty okay shot with our 23 ironclads. It's not the high-tech thing that we really are looking for here with the monitors, but what can you do without any sulfur until the, you know, until we actually annex Brunei right there? For the moment, you're just going to pass enact slavery ban, and yeah, I think I might actually go ahead and demand some land down under, right? In the Congo right here. I think I will just be happy with the Austrian Congo. That's a good start. And then last but not least, I think we're going to offer Russia to humiliate... Wait a minute, do they want anything else? Is there anything that would interest Russia at all? This is broken in the beta, sadly, so I have to click this bit by bit. I will not give them an obligation, just for the record. But you know what? Humiliation. Makes perfect sense to me. Let's get Russia into this. And with them being fearful, I actually went ahead and made Austria and Moldavia also a primary demand, because if I want two things, it's these right here. The Austrian Congo is sort of optional. Yeah, that is really the approach that we can take here, I think. And oh my god, they actually just backed down. We look awful, but man, this is a huge, huge step up. We didn't get the Congo, because they did back down, but we humiliated them, and we stole the entirety of Moldavia now, and northern Transylvania. Well, I mean, we didn't really steal it, we returned it to ourselves. Very, very nice. I now have to actually integrate these, so are we already? Nope, already integrated. Beautiful. I just gotta reset their methods. And all of a sudden, we're looking at the best situation we've ever been in, and it's not even close. I'm actually losing it over the laws of this session. Look at this. Come on, man. Just pass it. Thank God. Okay, finally. It looks also like they're going for another round right here. Return Campania, Abruzzo, Apulia, Lazio, Umbria, Romania. If somebody wins here, that would be the decision. Will somebody win here? I mean, honestly, Portugal is on this side. Jesus, Portugal. You have 8 mobilized brigades? Seriously? We should see how that goes. It's none of our concern, though. I need to try this again. Listen, I desperately need to try this again, okay? Come on, please, do it. And as we start enacting this law, hopefully, I think it is time that we annex the Congo. We need to take control of this area. It is incredibly, incredibly important to us, and I would like to actually take it over. You're also at war, huh? Interesting. Right, let's mobilize our troops. Let's get this done. God damn it, the Yashi Ripper. Get out of here. Oh, and Jesus Christ. Look at the landowners. They're actually dead. Like, they're done. Oh my god, I can't believe it. They have done it. After all this time, they have actually done it. Alright, with that, let's bump this up as much as I can. I'm actually going to build more bureaucracy buildings. That's completely fine. You can see we're also going really heavy here now on the dye. Because the point ultimately is, of course, that we want to use this to fabricate some luxury goods. We currently have barely any of them. And now... Wait a minute. Nope, not going to incorporate that. Now, I would really like it if we could actually start some colonies. Thank God. It's going to take some time, but we can finally colonize, and maybe even more importantly, I want to be in a position... what is this revolution? Oh, it's universal suffrage, huh? Huh. We are finally fully in the colonial game. Man, it took us long enough. But we're here now, and that means that I, at the very least, maybe can secure something like this area. That would be the goal. I would absolutely love it, and I can see that a bug occurred here. I need to make this into an area of interest again. I think beyond that, we might be looking towards China. I would also love to look at, maybe at this point, towards the Marina Kingdom. We'll have to see. Obviously, the Ottoman Empire is incredibly interesting to us, and all of a sudden, we are very much a middling power, almost a major power. And there's still so much air upwards here. Man, things are now actually working. And I think the time has now come that we also annex Brunei. Again, this is a much, much more hands-on period of our colonial history. At the very start, we were very hands-off. We just took the treaty ports and then made them into a dominion, but those days are over. We now will properly take them in. Oh, interesting. Montenegro, huh? What is your position towards the Ottomans? I think that is the most important part. Nothing really. No position. I don't know whether at this point the Ottomans aren't more a friend than Montenegro or Serbia. If Serbia and Montenegro are unwilling to actually, you know, push anything through here, then yeah, no, honestly, I don't care for you. And we got organized crime in northern Transylvania. Obviously, we're gonna work against this. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, you know what? I think this will pass, but I'm gonna roll this back just because this movement all of a sudden emerged and is incredibly powerful. Who are we gonna upset here? The industrialists? That's fine. The landowners? Who cares? Yeah, we're gonna pass universal suffrage. It should be really fast because of this. And then we should get a whole less radicals from this. Look at this radical increase. It's insane. Unfulfilled political movement and decreases in standard of living. Yeah, we're doing worse, interestingly enough. I need to investigate why that actually is. Groceries, liquor, and grain. We can get some more of that. Sure. We'll build it right after the administration here. Alright, okay. Maybe we won't be doing this. Wow. The industrialists actually turned to angry. Jesus Christ. Okay, yeah, we can't pull this off. What about the middle deal? What about this right here? I think we're gonna go with census suffrage instead then. It's not quite what they want, but it's better than not universal suffrage, right? Alright, look, we are in a pretty precarious situation just because, well, the standard of living basically went down significantly in the last few years due to fluctuations in trade primarily. We have liberalized. Everything is good, but everything is not good. Yeah, we got a very angry universal suffrage faction. We got a very angry, still quite conservative faction. I guess the industrialists are no longer our allies. At the very least, we have completed freedom, equality, and brotherhood. Rinde is a fearless visionary. That's not bad at all. I don't want to make him into a radical. I think that's a terrible idea. What does Reformer do in particular again? Right. No. You know what? I'm just going to open up the freedom of trade and freedom of thought journals, and we're going to go from there. Going forward, the goal is not just to unify Romania, but to also unify us domestically. Yeah, things are going a bit wrong, and I'm taking on a lot of loans, but that is largely so that we can then actually work this out. I think we have a great show of potential right here. We just actually need to utilize it. Yeah, look at all this glass that we can import. We're in a good spot. Let's keep it up. We annexed Brunei, we annexed the Congo, and we are now in a position where we are actually expanding quite rapidly in the Congo thanks to enhancing our institution. Be that as it may so, though, who are the current in government? Are the rule folk and the intelligentsia? Oh, very interesting. Okay, so this alliance still remains here. But I guess I can just stop suppressing you. You don't have any purpose anymore. We now need to look forward towards actually building a functioning economy plus nation rather than just one or the other. I'm excited because it's 1904 and we still have so much to do. I'll see you in the next episode though. For now, later. Oh my god, Russia. Well, Britain is sleeping on the job. Later, alligator.